Let's do this.
Out here in the thunder and rain today for you, Jared, to get the best quality Superstitious episode. We had to do a little bit of time travel to go back to Friday the 13th, but, you know, we made it happen, and we made it happen for all of you out there, so we appreciate your listenership here at the Untranslatable podcast. And hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here recording our episode today about some superstitions and kind of urban folklore that you might hear, such as things like step on a crack, break your mother's back, or, knock on wood if you want to have some good luck, or the age-old theater expression, break a leg. And if you don't know what those superstitions or what those phrases do, stay tuned today because we will be exploring them and figuring out quite a few other different superstitions from the U.S. and around the world. So stay tuned. Without further ado, my buddy who might be superstitious, or at least is definitely a little stitious, my good buddy Jared. What's going on, Jared?
I'm probably a little stitious, that's for sure. Yeah, I remember my encounter I had that I learned to undo any sort of superstitious act that has happened, any sort of unlucky act that has happened. Do you know how you reverse it?
What's that, Jared?
At least this is what I was taught.
You throw some salt over your shoulder?
Yes.
Do you really?
That's it, yeah. Pour some salt in your hand and throw it over your shoulder.
Okay. How many people have you hit with salt, Jared?
Well, I haven't, but the only time I've seen someone do that, it was in the Baldwin, which is our cafeteria at Albion, and he definitely hit someone behind him with salt.
Well, hopefully it brought them some good luck as well.
Yeah. Any sort of bad luck that they incurred recently, he inadvertently reversed it as well.
Exactly. Because that's how all that stuff works, for sure.
You know what? Also is a great luck charm is if you spread a little love.
Oh, for sure.
Follow us on Instagram. Follow Untranslatable Podcast, Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. You can also give us 5-star reviews, please. That if you don't and you listen to this podcast, you are going to have 100 years of bad luck. So go to iTunes and Stitcher, and please give us those 5-star reviews.
Пожалуйста.
But yeah, I'm feeling lucky, you know.
Well, that's good, Jared. I want to talk to you today. You mentioned you didn't have anything to start the show. Well, I sent you a little link in our chat there. And here's the headline. Anti-vaxxers, this is from Deutsche Welle, which is like a German news. They do stuff on German culture, also on German language, sports in Germany. Their slogan is Made for Minds. Deutsche Welle, made for minds. Anyways, the headline reads, Anti-vaxxers should forego ventilators, German doctor says. A German geneticist has said those who turn down the new COVID-19 vaccine should carry a note also refusing intensive care treatment. He also said medical decisions should not be left to conspiracy theorists. And you know what? Coming in hot, starting off strong, what are your thoughts about this, what this doctor is saying, Jared?
Well, first of all, I wonder if an anti-vaxxer would ever admit that they're an anti-vaxxer? Do they admit that when they go into the doctor's office? Maybe they do. I feel like an anti-vaxxer would love to talk about it, kind of like a vegan or something like that.
Right, maybe. Yeah.
And they think they have all the answers. Should they be able to forego ventilators? See, I think that would just turn into a legal nightmare. The idea of doctors being able to make those kind of decisions just seems like a legal nightmare. So I'd say that's a bad idea. I like the intent, and I go where it's coming from because it's essentially like, why are we prioritizing our medical care for people that don't even fully, that are like denying science, essentially, is what they're saying. Mm-hmm. But doctors already take these oaths where you're supposed to like not let anyone die, And then if you're just going around being like, well, this person doesn't even
is
give
that
a
the
shit about.
Hippocratic Oath? Is that what they call that?
I believe so. So. And so if it's like so now it's like the doctor's supposed to be like, this person doesn't even want to get their kids vaccinated. I'm supposed to use the highest level of medicine I have to try to save this person now.
Right.
That seems like that's a dark road.
an ethical dilemma there for sure.
And also, like, the thing is, like, these anti-vaxxers are idiots for the most part, I would imagine. And it's like, the doctors are supposed to be the smart ones, so they're supposed to be the ones, so I don't know if they just start being like, who cares if I don't know. This seems like a slippery slope to what's the next group of dumb people that we're gonna let die,
right?
And and then I feel
tricky.
like the entire idea of being a doctor is corroded.
Right. Yeah, it's very tricky. Yeah. I think the way that it would be fair is if I would say that people who are anti-vaxxers, and if like hotels, if hospitals are running low on hospital beds, I feel like these people deserve last priority though. By that point,
but that's not how priority works though. Priority works by who gets there first, I'd imagine. So it's like you can't be like, well, you hold on, we're going to let someone else in first, and then there's just a never-ending train of more people coming in.
Well, no, I think priority, I'm talking about more if the hospital is at capacity already.
Oh, I see.
And it's them and someone else, but it's a bold statement by this geneticist. And here, let me see if I can find this gentleman's name.
Also, if we're trying to end a pandemic, that doesn't seem like the best way to do it. Also, like the bigger picture is not like showing like taking it to these idiots. It's ending a pandemic, and a pandemic is exacerbated by a whole bunch of idiots. So. I don't know. I don't like it. It sounds like a cool thing to say in a bar, but it would make me uncomfortable.
Right. I will say this though,
especially from a German, by the way. I don't know. I don't want Germans making these sort of life or death decisions.
Why is that, Jared?
It's just, once again, just seems like a slippery slope. I don't like where Germans already have a bad history of being like, we don't need these people, so let's just get rid of them. I'm just saying.
Okay. Yeah, it's a tough one, but I will say that it is important that we do leave the medical issues to the medical experts. And I don't know if you're aware of this, Jared, but actually there has been a growing anti-COVID movement in some eastern parts of Germany. I was not aware of this, but there was a protest, I guess, in Leipzig, and they drew over 20,000 participants. And there have been also some demonstrations, in Berlin and Stuttgart.
I haven't seen that numbers have been rising again in Europe, but I didn't realize that there was a large movement like that.
Right.
Are they saying, is it because like similar reasons because of here, like they think the shutdown is unconstitutional or something?
Probably. I'm sure some people are against the mask mandates. I would imagine it's basically all the same, kind of the same stuff we have over here.
Yeah.
I would imagine. And on Friday, for example, Jared, not Friday the 13th, but on Friday, Germany recorded actually 33,000 new cases. And this was marking the first time that Germany has had a daily surge in cases over 30,000. So yeah, it is really interesting, though. I will say, though, it is a shame, though, that these people who are these extreme conspiracy theorists and these people who spread, misinformation out there, if they were to get sick, and I'm sure some of these people are at a higher risk because they probably don't practice all of the necessary precautions, it's really too bad if these people... I think everyone obviously deserves the right to medical care, although I think a lot of people in the U.S. might disagree with that statement. Especially,
sadly, that's a bold statement, Chad.
Right, and it shouldn't be, but yeah, it's just too bad though that these people will end up putting themselves or others at risk, and some of them will need ventilators and will need these, and I hope that the healthcare system in Germany will be able to handle some of these people, and same with the healthcare systems and all these countries around the world that are dealing with this. But anyways, it was definitely an interesting article.
I understand that in the sense that sometimes it does, like, when you see people being like, F the lockdowns, I'm going to go party, and it's like, and then that leads to, what really bothers me actually, more specifically, is like the people that have had like gatherings. So like a wedding. Mm-hmm. There have been so many weddings or some sort of party that have even just like a gathering of like, not like some sort of concert or something, but like say 100 people get together, and then you hear of it like leading to like 30 people leaving with COVID, and then that spreading to all their different towns that they go to. Mm-hmm. And like these certain like very avoidable activities turning into these super spreader activities. And sometimes when I see those, and I'm like, and then these people, So I understand the sentiment of what this person is saying, and I can imagine if you're a doctor, especially, it gets super annoying dealing with people, or sad too, because I've heard about people like dying and still like denying COVID, and so I imagine that gets sad and exhausting to hear people deny science, yet die or get infected by it.
Absolutely. Well, Jared, should we start with some shout-outs today?
Sure, dude. Spread a little love.
All right. Well, my first shout-out today, have you heard about what France is doing?
Baguettes?
Well, way to feed the stereotypes here, Jared.
Excuse me, is it croissants?
Yes, and some escargot as well, and obviously some wine and cheese. No, France has rewarded frontline immigrant workers citizenship.
Okay, cool.
So cool. This is I just heard about this the other day. Hundreds of immigrants in France working on the coronavirus front lines have had their service to the country recognized with fast-track citizenship. The Interior Ministry invited residents helping with efforts against COVID-19 to apply for accelerated naturalization. More than 700 have already been granted citizenship or are in the final stages of receiving it. So I think that's cool. Absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. These include healthcare professionals, cleaners, and shop workers. So I was curious, if it would only be medical professionals, but it's good to see it's not only medical professionals. Not that the medical professionals don't deserve it, but yeah.
But it's good to see people at all levels of the, not just the sort of what's considered the top of the, the top of the top or whatever is considered. I'm not saying it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, it's good to see. It'd be nice to see if maybe some other countries will start to do this.
Fast track some more. Why not?
Right. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. U.S. But yeah, we'll see. I'm really curious though to see, Jared, how our foreign relations will change after January around the world. I'm curious to see what that's going to look like.
The new presidency.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm hoping things will get better. I'm hoping. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Who knows?
Because I remember that's a couple of years ago there was that story in the news about a bunch of foreign leaders at some sort of gathering, and there was a recording of them making fun of like Trump. And,
that's hilarious! I didn't know that.
And I think it was like Trudeau and like the French guy and someone else. I think maybe Merkel or something like that. And yeah, it.
I can see people.
Part of me was like, "Yeah, we deserve this," but I don't like it.
Right? Yeah, it's something else. It's something else. Well, Jared, I got one more shout out today.
Okay,
and this shout out goes out to a California teenager named Ahmed Muhammad, who is a senior at Oakland Technical High School. Who he created a nonprofit to help kids learn about science. So this is just a great story here, Jared. Every year, high school seniors anxiously wait for college admission letters, hoping they get accepted into their dream schools. Ahmed Muhammad was one of them. So when Muhammad got accepted into Stanford University, he was delighted. It was a dream come true, Muhammad told CNN. It doesn't feel real. He will become a first-generation college student. Over the course of his high school career at Oakland Technical, the California native has taken 9 college classes on top of his high school workload. No small feat for a senior who not only tutors students and plays as a point guard for his school's varsity basketball team, but also runs a nonprofit that designs science kits for kids. The nonprofit, titled Kits Cubed, became the main focus of his personal statement for Stanford University. Yeah, Kits Cubed. Say that fast time.
Kits Cubed? Or
Kits Cubed. Kits. Like science kits.
Cubed.
No, just Kits Cubed. No
Kits Cubed. Oh,
yeah,
I
misspoke there. Yeah. And I guess the way this nonprofit started, though, Jared, was actually from him babysitting his niece and nephew, and decided they wanted to do like a science experiment for fun. And his nephew immediately didn't want to do it. He said, "I'm not good at science," et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of, I think, when the light bulb went off for Ahmed Mohammed, who started to they did a science project, I guess, and really enjoyed it, and that's how it started. And then in March, Muhammad was taking virtual classes and sheltering in place when the lockdown was happening. When he started Kids Cubed, he wanted kids to get hands-on experience with science, especially during a time when a global pandemic had forced distance learning. So I think this is such an awesome story. I mean, this high school senior already had enough on his plate. Plays on the basketball team, is taking college classes on top of his high school workload, and doing this. I mean, it's just super awesome, and it's great to see. You love to see it, Jared. So lots of love to Ahmed Mohammed. Shout out to you, good sir. It's awesome that you are inspiring kids to learn about science. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Jared, do you want to get into our meat? That's right. Let's inspire kids,
to
adults,
learn about
language learners
That's
alike.
So cheesy.
Exactly. That is our untranslatable owl, which signifies the untranslatables, which are idioms, proverbs, axioms, sayings, phrases that don't translate on a one-to-one basis into English, and we are your certified, tried and true untranslatable professionals to decipher them for you. And Jared, you want to get us started today?
Sure, Chad. I have, and thanks to Babel. Okay. Thanks to Babel, I have 13 foreign phrases that are rooted in superstition.
Ooh.
Now, what they should have said is 13 foreign untranslatables that are rooted in superstition. But you know what? I'll forgive them. It's good
to
so
be
I
forgiving,
figured this
Jared.
would be perfect for obviously this episode. So keep in mind, all of these things are superstition related somehow. I'm not going to give you all of them. There's a bunch of them. But my first one is Turkish, and it's Okagima insid agaki diktin.
Which means?
You planted a fig tree in my home. You planted a fig tree in my home.
That's like you... I think I could go a few ways with this one. My first knee-jerk reaction would be like, you're coming into my house, you're disrespecting me, and you got to get out. Like, you're stirring up trouble in my house, causing mischief. No. Disrespecting somebody.
It actually just means...
Or it is a good thing. Is it to give someone
it's
a
actually
gift?
interesting. I'm actually going to give that to you. I take it back.
Okay.
In Turkey, it's considered bad luck to hand someone a knife or pair of scissors directly. You're supposed to put it on a table first. I don't know why they add that, but they said if someone violates this rule, which can be taken as a sign of aggression, you can get back at them by planting a fig tree in front of their house, which is considered bad luck.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so just it's almost like wishing someone bad luck.
Yeah.
Or like,
Well,
or
I
even like
imagine-
cursing them, kind of.
Exactly.
Like watch it. I'm planting that fig tree in your front yard.
Like, it's like that's what I think. It does feel like a curse on someone. I don't know what it is
curse-
about figs though.
There's the name of the episode right there, Jared. The Curse of the Fig Tree, right? Right there.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking for a pen and paper.
Oh, that's funny. The Curse of the Fig Tree.
my
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Well, this one, mine are not really superstitious related, Jared, but I have some Polish ones for you. I don't know why, but I was just in the mood to check out some Polish ones. So this is a good one here. I'm sure I'll pronounce this wrong, but here we go. Myslec o niebieskich migdalach, which means to think of blue almonds.
To daydream.
Oh, very good, Jared. Have we done that one before?
Maybe, but it makes sense to me also. Don't you undermine my intelligence.
Never. I would
it kind of
never
makes
do
sense to
such
me
a thing.
because it's like because you're thinking about something that doesn't exist essentially.
Right.
Once again, I have a superstition-based one. This one's German, so let me know if you've heard this before.
Oh, I'm excited.
Scherben bringen Glück.
What's that first word? Say it again.
Scherben.
What is that?
Scherben. Scherben.
Yeah, I've never heard it. What word is that? What does it mean?
That's a good question. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I got distracted. Shards of glass bring good luck.
Okay, I've never heard that word before. So shards of glass bring good luck. Oh man, is that? I mean, is that really just what it sounds like?
It is, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
But the explanation is the so loud clanging, shattering of noises are thought to drive off evil spirits and bring good luck. The belief is manifested in many rituals in Germany. For example, on the evening before a wedding, do you know what I'm about to say? Many ceremonies will include a Polterabend. Have you heard of a Polterabend? Oh, Polterabend. I get it. Something about I don't know what Polter is, but something about evening, which involves porcelain and ceramics. Geez, there's something in my eye being shattered in front of the couples in order to secure a happy future for them. Not everything that breaks brings good luck. However, breaking a mirror, which I think is the same in the U.S. too, is will bring 7 years of bad luck. Maybe that's just a German thing. The specific 7 years of bad luck. It's always 7 years for some reason.
Yeah. Seven is a weird one. Seven in some, I think in a lot of cultures, it's actually it's like good luck.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like in the U.S. 7 is a lucky number.
Yeah, I would say so.
But it's not even that the 7 is the unlucky number. That just is how long you'll be doing. Like, I don't know if the 7 is an unlucky number specifically. That's just how long the bad luck will be put upon you.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Well, let me give you another Polish one, Jared. Let's see here. Oh, this one. I think we might have done this one before, but this is a good one. So here we go. Niedźwiedzia przysługa. I think that's how you say that. It means bear's favor.
Do you have any basis to understand these to pronounce these Polish phrases?
I try to use my as weird as this is, and this may irritate any Polish listeners out there, but I use my Czech intuition from like hearing and reading Czech. I know Czech and Polish are different, and the pronunciation is different. But I have a friend of mine, she's Polish, and when I hear her speak Polish, a lot of times I can make out a lot of the words she's saying because they're similar to a lot of Czech words. They may not be the same, but they're very close.
Are Polish and Czech based, like, are they both like based on the same sort of...
Both Slavic languages.
Okay.
Yep. One big difference between Polish and Czech, fun fact, is in Czech you have the r, which is an R with the hot check over it, which is like a rolled R with a zh sound on top of it. In Polish, I don't think they actually have that sound. I could be wrong about that, but I thought Czech was one of the only Slavic languages that has that letter in the alphabet and that sound. So it's kind of interesting. I know Slovakian does not, which is right, next to the Czech Republic. Anyways, the untranslatable, Jared, is bear's favor.
Does that just mean you have good luck?
No. Let me give you an example. Agnieszka says, when I asked you to
Is
feed
that
my...
someone's name?
Yeah, that's a Polish name.
Oh.
Mhm. When I asked you to feed my cat while I was away, I didn't mean mushrooms. Then Janusz says, but he looks so bored. Agnieszka says, well, now he's definitely not bored. He's learned how to play the guitar. Janusz says, wow, that's amazing, a cat playing the guitar. Agnieszka says, but Janusz, he only ever plays painful acoustic covers of tacky 2000s pop songs. Janusz says, I'm sorry. I guess I really did you a bear's favor there. Sorry.
Oh, that was, by the way, quite the little scene you just played out there.
You're welcome.
I was into it.
Good.
So it's just like you gave someone like you think you're helping someone, but you're really not, essentially.
Yeah, basically. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're doing them a favor, but like it didn't really,
See,
it didn't really
that makes
help them out
perfect
much.
sense. When I heard favor, I thought like favorable.
Oh, no,
not
no,
like
no.
doing someone a favor.
No.
Okay.
Let me
See.
give you another Polish one here, Jared.
Okay.
On ma visa v kieszeni. He has or they have a snake in their pocket.
Oh, they're cheap with money.
Exactly, but let me give you the example anyways, Jared, because this
Okay.
is kind of a funny one. The kid says, Daddy, can I have 50 cents so I can give that nice man playing violin in the street, give him some money? Baby boomer dad, no, he should get a real job. I built my business from the ground up and earned every
my
penny.
gosh.
I'm not giving it to some hippie drug addict to spend on his woo-woo juice. Kid,
This is the example.
this is the example, yep. Kid, well,
This person
somebody
had a
has a
lot of
snake in
fun.
their pocket. Oh yeah, whoever wrote these was having a good time. Yeah,
That example did not have to be that elaborate.
it did not, but it was. They didn't have to go that hard for us, Jared, but they did, and we appreciate it. That's for sure.
Oh my gosh.
What other superstitious untranslatables do you have for us? I want to hear
All
a few
right.
more.
Well, since we're doing Polish, I'll give you a Polish one.
Oh, perfect.
Do you want to let me have you
Put it in
read
the chat.
this.
Pop it in the chat. Let's see here.
Can I text it to you?
Sure.
I'm on a different computer.
Sure. Send me a texty text.
Help me out with this one.
Okay. Slapcy za guzik. Guzik. I'm not
Do
sure.
you reckon? Probably not Guzik. That sounds super American.
Right. Guzik? I'm not sure. I don't recognize any words here now.
Grab a button.
Grab. Is that like cross your fingers? Like wish me luck?
I think you're right.
Oh, all
in
right.
Poland, hold on. Let me give you your props.
Yeah, thank you. I was
In
about
Poland,
to say.
it's believed that chimney sweepers bring luck.
Okay.
And if you ever happen to see one walking down the street, you should immediately grab a button affixed to your clothes. If you happen to be caught sans button, well, too bad for you. It's kind of like, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
In the United States, what are you supposed to do if you're driving by a cemetery?
I don't know.
Wow, you don't know? You've never heard of this? Yes, 'cause this is because you kind of grew up as an only child. I know you're not an only child, but you kind of grew up as one because your siblings are older than you.
Right.
So maybe you missed out on all these torturous things that siblings do. But it's like oh yeah, so you're supposed to hold your breath while you drive by, and then you're supposed to only let your breath go. Or breathe again when you pass the next speed limit sign. I don't know if there's any sort of truth to that. This is just what my sister told me when I was a child.
Nice.
So now that I think about it, I don't know if this is an American thing. That might
Might be a Jared thing.
Yeah, that's true. Because I bet you if I brought it up to her, she'd be like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
You should. Yeah, do some research for us. I'm curious. Yeah, I wonder what that means. Interesting. That's funny, Jared. All right, well, I'll actually give me a couple more superstitious ones.
Holding your breath while you go past a cemetery. That is a real
It is a real thing.
superstition.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get into it later actually, because this is a perfect example of stupid childhood superstitions. I'll give you another one though. Here's a Russian one. Here, I'll send it to you because.
Ooh, all right. Well, oh, cool. Send me the
always like-
Cyrillic. Do you have the Cyrillic?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. All right, Jared's typing. That is not the Cyrillic. Or is it? Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Sorry. I had my font is too small. I don't have my old man font on this computer. Nie pokaziwaje na siebie.
Perfect.
Which means,
I mean, I don't know if it's perfect, but that's what the spelling looks like. Don't show on yourself.
is that like don't like don't like brag and then like something bad will happen or
Now I'm going to give you a half ham horn on that.
Okay.
Because yes, but it's specific. This phrase is generally used in the very specific context of discussing another person's illnesses or wounds. When speaking of another person's health issues, you should never indicate them with gestures on your own body, the superstition goes. Doing so will predispose you to the same wounds or illnesses. So maybe it's like if someone says like I broke my arm or someone broke their arm, you don't like say like, oh, how's your arm doing, and point to your own arm, maybe, something like that.
Or maybe you don't
Or it's
say,
like, oh, Chad, he fell on his and then points to his head or something.
So wait, is it you don't want to point someone else out or yourself?
You don't point to it on your own body.
I see.
Don't.
So I wonder if it would be like, so would that mean like if say Jared is a biker, right? I don't mean motorcycle biker. I mean like a street biker, riding a bicycle. You do mountain biking too. Anyways, so say you were to get into a biking accident. I come visit you in the hospital, or since this is a Russian untranslatable, we'll say our good Russian buddy Piotr comes by in the hospital, and he says, Jared, do not worry. You break arm, I break arm too. No problem. I am fine now. And then you're like, whoa, don't show it on yourself. Is that kind of what it means, or what?
Don't show on yourself. I think so.
Okay.
You should never indicate them with gestures on your own body, the superstition goes. So I think that's
Do you have any other Russian untranslatables? I want to read some more Cyrillic. If you've got any.
I don't have any Russian ones specifically.
No? Okay. Any other good superstitious related untranslatables for us today?
Well,
Jared?
there's one that we've actually talked about, the Chinese song zong, which is giving a clock, which you know about.
Oh, yep.
It's considered very rude. Almost like a representation of time passing, and so and yeah, it's just not a good gift.
Well,
those
a good
were my
segue
favorite
though, Jared.
superstitious
So
untranslatables.
yeah, definitely. That's a great segue though, Jared. Gifts. There are some gifts that people will not give due to superstitions, and clocks, obviously in China, mean bad luck. I think it a lot. The funny thing is, a lot of the makes sense. A lot of the bad superstitions. Usually the end thing is you end up dying, right? That's usually the thing, right? So, so like a clock, if you give someone a clock, it signifies dying. In some cultures I've read, if you give them something sharp as a gift, like knives or scissors, that can be considered bad luck. Will also signify dying.
We do know that a certain number, like you should give an even number in certain cultures and an odd number in certain cultures of a specific
especially
gift.
With flowers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you have any other ones?
Yeah, one moment. My computer is being a little slow here.
Here, I have some unlucky gifts for you.
Perfect.
An umbrella is never a good gift to give in China.
And then umbrellas, isn't it also considered bad luck with umbrellas to keep them, isn't it like to keep them open inside or open them under a doorway or something like that?
I mean, I know that's a superstition in America for sure. You shouldn't open umbrellas inside.
Right.
I don't know why.
Why is
but
that?
I'll tell
Let
you
me
this.
find out, yeah.
In China, giving someone an umbrella insinuates that you feel your relationship with them has fallen apart. Especially this is the gift which you should not give at a wedding because it represents that the person is not happy with your decision. So it's better to avoid this unlucky gift altogether.
Okay. Well, here we go, Jared. So here are a few leading theories about how and why opening umbrellas indoors can lead to bad luck. One of them suggests, believe it or not, this started around 1200 BCE when ancient Egyptian priests and royalty were using umbrellas made of peacock feathers and papyrus to shield themselves from the sun. The superstition might have stemmed from a belief that opening an umbrella indoors away from the sun's rays would anger the sun god Ra and generate negative consequences. Another theory involves a different ancient Egyptian deity, Nut, the goddess of the sky. I think it's Nut. Maybe it's Nut. It's spelled N-U-T. Goddess of the sky. So there were umbrellas that were crafted to mirror and honor the way this goddess protected the earth, so their shade was considered sacred. If anybody with non-noble blood used one of these umbrellas, the person supposedly became a walking, talking beacon of bad luck. So oddly enough, Jared, two of these, it looks like two theories go back all the way to ancient Egypt. About not opening.
I don't believe them. I don't believe them. They're just like guessing essentially where it came from.
Right.
Some other unlucky gifts to give: a comb. Who would give someone a comb? By the way, there are many superstitious.
Is that a suggestion to your friend or your family member who, to like comb their hair sometime?
I thought maybe it would be like I thought it's interesting. I thought the bad luck would be that if you give someone a comb, they're going to go bald or something.
Oh, maybe.
There are many superstitious talks about gifting a comb to anyone in Japan. It's admitted a curse for it's admitted as a curse for some people because comb means cushy, and that this is not great translation, by the way, and that's defined as you will suffer from a health issue and die soon. So it's essentially a similar reason why 4 is unlucky in China, is that the 4 also means, depending on how you say it, could mean death.
Well, so it's not depending on how you say it. It's for the. Okay, let me try this here. My Chinese is terrible. Let me preface that already. But so you have 4, which is si, and then you have si, if I remember correctly, right, is death. Mm-hmm. So because the characters are very similar, or the way the word is pronounced is very similar, it's considered bad luck. So in China, you will have entire hotels that don't have a 4th floor. You will have rooms that don't have the number 4 on them because it is considered such bad luck.
Have you been to hotels that don't have a 13th floor? That's kind of not uncommon in Europe.
Maybe. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm sure I have. Yeah.
Which seems kind of ridiculous to me,
I feel like a lot of times the 13th floor might be the floor with like the gym on it or the pool. So they can label it something different.
Yes. So it'll be like 12. It'll be like G.
12, then yeah. Right.
Interesting. Yeah, I've seen that before too.
Speaking of numbers, let's talk about numbers for a second. So 4 in Chinese culture, I think maybe also in Japanese and Korean. I could be wrong, but I think 4 also might be an unlucky number in those cultures as well. 13 is obviously, if you see my goofy background for any of the people watching this on YouTube, 13 is definitely an unlucky one. But I think in our case, it's Friday the 13th in our case.
Right. Mm-hmm. Is 13 an unlucky number in the U.S.? It probably still is, though. I would say it still is.
I would say, maybe, yeah. And let's see. And I wonder why that would be. Let's see. This is according to history.com. What's so unlucky?
Okay, go ahead.
About the number 13. Research estimate that 10% of the U.S. population has holy crap, Jared, has a fear of the number 13. Really? Are people like legit afraid of the number 13? And each year, even more specific fear of Friday the 13th. Here's a good word for you, Jared. I'm going to try to say it. We'll see if I can say it right. Skevidecatriophobia. Paraskevidecatriophobia. I'm sure I said that wrong. This is the fear of Friday the 13th. Here, I'll send this in the chat for you. Maybe you can actually read this.
I have it right here.
Yeah. How do you say that word?
Wait, Trisky? Is that what the Paraskevide?
Oh,
interesting. I see triskaidekaphobia is the fear of Friday the 13th, or 13th,
Okay.
the number 13 specifically.
That's
me.
the one. That's the one that I was reading there. But maybe either way.
Wait, what do
way.
you mean
So
that's the one? We just said completely different things. What do you mean that was the one you were reading?
No. Read yours again.
Oh, hold on. Let me see the
I
one.
see it.
I didn't
I
even
see
look
it.
at the
I see. Yeah, they are. They are. Sorry, I thought they were more similar.
Paraskevidicatriophobia. So that is the fear of Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hear it is. I see it.
Yep.
No, I feel like my computer just heard me because because it literally it popped up as I said that. Okay, so all right, now hold on. I want to go back to see mine real quick just to see the
Go for it.
similarities in these words. There is really not that much similarity.
This is the funny thing about these words, or about this fear of Friday the 13th, Jared. So apparently, this results in an excess of $800 million lost financially per year. People avoid marrying on Friday 13th, traveling they avoid on Friday the 13th, and in some severe cases, some people even avoid working on Friday the 13th. I have never woke up in my life, looked at the calendar, and seen Friday 13th and go, well, I'm really scared today, so I can't work. Like, that's just so funny.
Do you have any sort of superstition like that you adhere to even if you know it's stupid?
I don't have any silly superstitions, I don't think.
I think I
adhere
to sport related ones.
Oh, what sport superstitions do you have?
So I'm not one to call a win before it happens. You know.
Okay, sure. It ain't over till the fat lady sings, Jared.
I also, as a kid, I used to. I don't know why. I don't know where I got this from. I don't know but I used to put I think it was a coin or something in my shin guard when I played soccer. As some
That just
sort
sounds
of
like a health hazard.
No, it was in my shin guard, it's just flat against the side of my leg.
Oh, fair enough. Never mind. Okay. I was thinking if you had it like on your shin and somebody kicked you there, having that metal there wouldn't be good. But never mind.
No. It doesn't really work like that. But I believe it was. I mean, I know it was some sort of good luck, but I don't know if I believed it, and I don't even know where that came from. Why I thought that specific move was like a good luck move, but I definitely did that, and I feel like I don't tend to have like as you said, I'm not superstitious, but I am kind of stitious.
You're a little stitious, Jared.
So like definitely, I would say definitely. Calling wins is a big one, and I would also say that would you say that like there's some level of superstition in regards to like a karma, the idea of karma?
Yeah, I do. I personally do believe in karma. I really do think what goes around comes around.
Is it unfair to call that a superstition?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't,
because you're essentially being
there's no scientific
bad luck will happen to
proof.
me if I do something bad to someone else.
Right. I mean, I don't think there's any scientific proof of karma. Maybe there is. I don't know. But let's get back to these numbers, and especially 13, Jared, because once again, this takes us back to ancient Egypt. So we'll see.
Which is why I don't believe this again.
Well, it's interesting to think about. So maybe I can persuade you, Jared. I've done it before, and maybe I can do it again. So here we go. An early myth surrounding the origins of fear involved of the world's oldest legal documents, the Code of Hammurabi, which reportedly omitted a 13th law from its list of legal rules. In reality, the omission was no more than a clerical error made by one of the document's early translators who failed to include a line of text. In fact, the code doesn't numerically list its laws at all. But this is what's interesting, Jared. Mathematicians and scientists, meanwhile, point to the preeminence of the number 12, which has been considered by mathematicians and scientists as a quote-unquote perfect number in the ancient world. The ancient Sumerians developed a numeral system based on the use of 12 that is still used for measuring time today. Most calendars have 12 months. A single day is comprised of two 12-hour half days. And so following so closely on the heels of a quote-unquote perfect number, some argue the poor number 13 was sure to be found lacking and unusual. This fear of the unknown would seem to play into two other popular theories for the number's unlucky connotation, both which revolve around the appearance of a 13th guest at two ancient events. The Bible, who is Judas, the 13th guest, who arrives at the Last Supper, who betrays Jesus. And meanwhile, in ancient Norse lore, there's evil and turmoil were first introduced in the world by the appearance of the treacherous and mischievous god Loki at a dinner party in Valhalla, where he
Loki,
was also
like from Thor.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
This is a Norse god. And Loki was the 13th guest. So there you go, Jared. You have two 13th guests that were also bad luck. So it's kind of interesting.
You won me over a little bit, and I also say it does make sense, I guess, when you put it on the mathematician level, because it's a prime number, it's an odd number. So
Stands
the idea,
alone,
aka prime number.
Right.
What do you mean
Yeah,
it
yeah.
stands alone? What does stands alone mean?
it just means it's, as you said, it's a prime number. I was just
Okay, I was like,
not
I've never heard a
everyone is a
number-
mathematician here, Jared.
I've just never heard someone explain a number as something that stands alone.
Like it stands alone, like
like
it can't,
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, it's the Chuck Norris of numbers, Jared. Number 13, obviously. Well, you know, like any prime number, you know, it can't be evenly divided into anything.
Do you have any more numbers you want to talk about?
No, I think
right, well,
4, 13, 7, those are kind of the big ones, either lucky or unlucky.
Let's
let's
talk
get
about
into some other stuff.
some classic superstitions, especially here in the U.S.
Well, let's start with step on a crack, break your mother's back. That was like a one that we said as kids, right, Jared?
Yeah. I still sometimes say it.
Well, Jared,
sometimes it's fun to avoid the cracks. You know, if you're walking down the street, to time your steps perfectly to where you just miss the cracks. But why is it that I've been programmed to be like, I should miss the cracks?
well, you care about your mom, and you don't want to break her
by
back.
the way,
that's why.
I knew you'd bring up step on a crack, break your mom's back. Do you know where that comes from?
I do, and I'm going to take a play out of Jared's playbook here, and this one definitely comes from slavery and racism.
What do you mean this one definitely comes from? Every time I say it, it definitely comes from slavery.
Sometimes I have my reservations about that, Jared, occasionally.
Okay.
But this
maybe
one,
you should start doing as much research every time as you are doing right now with all these superstitions.
Maybe I should. Maybe you're right. So this one
It's all slavery. Sorry, go ahead.
So this one is stems from a term, at least from this is from the website that I'm getting this from, Jared. Blackthen.com is the website. And these are a bunch of 20. Here's the headline of the article: Step on a crack, break your mama's back. Top 20 superstitions black people live by. And this was the first one on there. Have you ever feared the repercussions of stepping on that infamous crack in the pavement? The original rhyme was far from innocent. The original rhyme, Jared, was step on a crack and your mother will turn black. It is believed to come from the late 19th century. I don't know why whoever wrote this, I'm sorry, but they need to have someone proofread it, because it is believed to come from the late 19th century racism. I think what you mean here is it just stems from racism. But yeah,
specifically that late 19th century
right?
racism.
Not that 20th century, not that 18th, but that 19th century racism, Jared.
Very specific kind of racism,
right? Exactly. But yeah, so I still don't get why that is though. Like who came up with that? You know, like I get it rhymes, you know, crack and back or black, they all rhyme. I get that. But like who one day like was walking down the street and you know what I mean? Like do you know? Do you have like a
explanation you had was a lot more like for children. I feel like the explanation I have is a little bit more NSFW.
All right, let's hear it.
We'll see. This is one of the negative superstitions which are still prevalent today. As the story goes, the origin of this is from a very dark time in history. It was at a time when racism was at its peak, so maybe that's why they set that specific late 19th century racism. I don't know. Throughout the world, black men and women were tortured and killed on a daily basis without any law prohibiting it. This is why most people who know the origin of superstition try to avoid speaking about it. This superstition, see, the fact that I'm even talking about it is sending chills up my spine right now. The superstition, the superstition did not
Jared
start
just
like
crossed
this.
himself for the people listening.
It used to be that if you step on a crack, it'll turn your mother black, as you said. That means the meaning behind the shameless superstition is how hateful the racial bias was during the time period. It implied that if you stepped on a crack in the road, then you would be very unlucky and portray a measure of unluckiness. So it was said it was said that a black person would enter your family. The superstition can also be traced back to one more origin. This is not really that much hate-filled, but it's much scarier to the believers. It said that the crack in the pavement are links to the underworld, and by stepping on one such crack, you are inviting a demon to ruin your life, and this demon will haunt you and your family. Demon, a.k.a. black person. Well, one origin of the superstition is based on the presence of mythological demons living underneath the ground. The other is a testament to the fact that all right, I don't need to hear their explanation, but yeah, that's where the crack thing comes from. It's a link to the underworld.
Scary stuff, Jared. Well,
so maybe if you step on it, it just gets sucked in, you know?
Right. Well, speaking of a link to the underworld and life and death, one superstition, or I don't even know if this is really a superstition or just like a polite eating etiquette, but when you are in Asian countries, especially China and Japan, big no-no is to stick your chopsticks straight up in a bowl, especially like a bowl of rice. And the reason why you don't do that, do you know, Jared?
Something about it representing death, I believe. That's what I've heard.
So at a funeral, that's what you do, is you put the chopsticks in, like face down, in a bowl of rice, and they stick straight up. So it signifies death, once again. So, you know, a lot of these
that's what you would see at a funeral?
Apparently, at least according to the article I'm reading here, yeah. You never want to stick your chopsticks straight up. And what you do, obviously, if you're actually eating with chopsticks, you just lay them across your plate or your bowl, whatever you're doing. But that's a big one. Yeah, what are some other big... here's kind of a funny one, Jared. This is a superstition that they have a lot in I know in Germany, also I believe in Russia as well. You don't want to wish someone happy birthday early. So, for example, if you had your birthday, I don't know, on Tuesday, and I wished you a happy birthday on Monday, I might be like, "Hey, Jared, happy," and you'd be like, "Whoa, Chad, wait, stop, don't be wishing me a happy birthday yet. My birthday's tomorrow." And it just means it'll like bring you bad luck.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now, maybe if you, is it bad luck even if you do it on accident? It's like, oh, I thought your birthday was today. Or it's like, well, you've wished it, and now
you
bad
ruined
luck.
it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, soiled it, probably.
right, exactly. Yeah, what are some other ones, Jared?
So you asked last time, and then you just said another one. I don't know. Is that just a pause for you to get another one up?
No, I'm waiting for you this time.
Okay. Knock on wood. Why are we knocking on wood? That one I do. Speaking of which, there's another example of me being probably stitious. Why do I do that? Because I don't know if I actually believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it. I do it.
You do? Why do you believe it?
I don't know. I don't actually, but I also do it. Do you know where it comes from, though, Jared?
Yeah, the phrase is almost like a verbal talisman. That's what they say. I don't even know what that means. Designed to ward off bad luck after tempting fate. Breaking the mirror didn't bring me any trouble. Knock on wood. The fixation on wood may come from old myths about good spirits and trees, or from the association with the Christian cross. Similar phrases abound in multiple languages, suggesting that the desire not to upset a spiteful universe is very common. You know, and if you don't have wood around you, what are you supposed to knock on?
Well, Jared, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. You gotta keep a little piece of wood on you at all times. Gotta keep that thing on you, Jared.
Is that what they mean when they say that?
Yes, that's exactly what they mean.
You're supposed to knock on your head. You've never seen that before?
Oh, yeah. Yep, you're right. In the Czech Republic, I think they knock on their teeth.
Okay.
I remember
why
correctly.
did you say that one?
I don't know. Because you gotta keep that thing on you, Jared.
Yeah.
We gotta start selling some untranslatable merch. It's just a little piece of wood, says Untranslatable Podcast on it. People can keep it on them when they have, they need to make sure they have some good luck.
Oh, by the way, I figured out the whole origin of the holding your breath when you pass the
What is
cemetery.
Let's hear it.
It's because you're when you now can you guess? Because actually, when I hear it, it was like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
So evil spirits can't enter your body, Jared, obviously.
That's a good guess, but I don't think that's it. Now,
Okay.
now I feel like that could be potentially it, and
Okay.
my source might be wrong.
Uh-oh.
What my source said was that when you're going past a cemetery, you're making the ghost jealous that you can
right.
breathe.
That's right,
So
son.
you don't breathe, and then you're free and safe once you pass. I mean, they didn't see anything about them.
Wouldn't you want to flex on them ghosts and ghouls and be breathing really hard, though, to brag?
No, because then they're gonna get pissed and specifically target you for.
So it's to appease the ghosts
haunting.
is why we're not... Okay.
Like I don't want them to get jealous and get angry at me for trying to flaunt my breath in front of them.
That's
so I'm
fair.
gonna be like, I can't breathe either. I'm like, all right, this person's cool.
Right.
There's also the holding your breath when you're in a tunnel. By the way, have you heard that one?
I have. I used to do
Okay.
that as a kid, but that was more
Oh,
for
did
fun.
you?
That was more for fun, though. It wasn't superstition.
That's what you think.
Okay.
But maybe you were somehow imprinted at an age when you were younger, you didn't even realize. Holding your breath in a tunnel can be a really bad idea. As one young man proved in 2014. I don't know what's about to happen right now. Daniel J. Calhoun of Snohomish, Washington, told investigators he fainted Sunday afternoon while holding his breath in the Highway 26 tunnel. CBS News reports the kicker, the tunnel only takes about 10 seconds to drive through. But he was so nervous that he was going to get some bad luck, that he was willing to pass out. And also, he might need to go to the doctor if he can only hold his breath if he can't even hold his breath for 10 seconds without passing out.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. That's maybe he was really like, he had to have been doing something more than just holding his breath. Like maybe he was like holding his breath and like straining or something. It's like, yeah, 10 seconds is not that long. I don't think. But yeah, that's interesting.
Another classic one. Mm-hmm. Crossing your fingers.
Yep. And that one has, the funny thing is, Jared, a lot of these superstitions have some, either it's life or death related or like religiously related somehow.
Sure.
And so
I
this
feel
one
like
goes back to the cross, right? Jesus Christ and the cross, right?
I feel like I feel like it makes sense that most of this stuff would have some sort of like religious background, because that is sort of what most of society is kind of based on, and that's sort of the original. That was sort of one of the original ways of trying to understand the areas beyond that they don't understand. Like why are there clouds? Why are there stars?
Right.
The only explanation at some point was just gods controlling
Sure.
the world, and so it's like, well, let's make sure we keep them happy, because I remember one time there was a drought for 2 years, and maybe it had something to do with freaking Larry over there stepping on a crack.
Well, of course. Or Jim didn't cross his fingers, or
Exactly.
or he crossed both, two hands. Don't be double crossing me.
Is this unlucky?
Oh, whoa! Watch out, Jared.
So what I did for the people
just got our podcast banned from YouTube, pulled from Stitcher, gone. It's just gone.
Forget the explicit rating. There's
Right.
no sort of rating for what I just did.
You just pulled out the universal bad luck gang sign right there.
What I did,
the double cross,
was I did a fingers crossed with my.
How do you do that? Even I can't.
First
can't
two
even
fingers and then my back two fingers. You can't? It's very easy
no.
for me. It's interesting, because that's very easy for me, yet it's damn near impossible for me to properly do like a hang loose.
Really?
With my pinky always sticking. Like I can't get my pinky to stick out without this finger popping out like this.
Oh, interesting.
Yet I can
Okay.
do the mark of the beast
Right.
like it's nothing.
Right. Interesting. You know what's funny with crossing your fingers though, Jared? In Germany, what they do, I think you remember, is they say Daumen gedrückt, which means they're pressing their thumbs. Mm-hmm. Which is a funny one. I wonder what other kind of like gestures other countries have. Because I imagine a lot I would be willing to bet a lot of the more Christian countries probably have like crossing their fingers maybe. Germany, as we said, has like pressing your thumb. I'm trying to think of some other ones. But yeah, what other ones do you have?
Classic Christian, when I mentioned Mark of the Beast with my quadruple cross here going on with my fingers. The mark of the beast. Do you know what the mark of the beast is?
Of course, 666.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. You know nothing about Christianity.
The number of the beast, right?
So 3 sixes in a row gives some people the chills, and it's a superstition that goes back to the Bible. The Book of Revelation. 666 is given as the number of the beast and is often interpreted as the mark of Satan, and it's the sign of end times. So if Satan is coming back, that means that if Satan's coming to Earth, that means that all the saved people have been saved at this point, and they're in their safe place. And it's the end times for Earth here, and the devil's taken over, and only the sinners like you and I remain.
So we'll remain even after the beast comes, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's what the end times is. Okay. It's like all the saved. That's some Christian beliefs have this belief that obviously Earth is temporary, and that at some point there is going to be these end times, these Book of Revelation. You saw the Family Guy episode, or was it American Dad, where they all got went up to, one of those where they all got the end times happened, and then certain people stayed. Right. And that was just what's left is just the sinners are just left in a wasteland. And since you don't even know about this story, you're certainly getting left behind.
Well, thank you, Jared. I'm looking forward to spending the time there with you. That's for sure. Let me go back to the fingers crossed thing. So there are a few exceptions here. So believe it or not, Jared, if you are in Vietnam and you cross your fingers, the gesture is actually considered rude, especially if you are doing it to someone else. It is, and this is according to Wikipedia, like going like that to them.
Oh, it's kind of like doing the British peace sign backwards.
Right. It's like it's right. It's comparable to giving the finger in Western culture, which basically means flip off. F you. We say flip in the bird in English. In German-speaking countries, also in Sweden, crossing your fingers apparently is actually a sign of lying. I was not aware of that. Wishing for luck is gestured by pressing the thumbs, as we mentioned.
A sign of lying. So if it's so say I'm talking to someone and I'm like, no, I promise everything's good to go. I took care of it, and I'm sneaking to you hey.
Right, exactly.
Everything's great. Everything
right
is taken care of.
And exactly. Believe it or not, though, Jared, also in Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Bulgaria, and South Africa, they also do the thumb pressing. And at least I can't speak for all of these, but I would imagine the similarity here, Jared, is actually, believe it or not, when you press your thumbs, even though you're hiding your thumb, it kind of looks like you're giving someone a thumbs up. So it's almost like you're somehow, by you pressing your thumb, it's kind of like you're wishing them a thumbs up somehow.
Like an extra thumbs up.
Right.
South Africa makes sense because I imagine you said they do it in Netherlands too.
Actually, German-speaking countries and Sweden.
Okay. Because I imagine if they do it in Netherlands, then they would do it in South Africa too. Have you ever dealt with a wishbone?
Yeah, I have broken wishbones before and made wishes, Jared.
Have you really?
Oh yeah. During Thanksgiving,
families actually do that. I thought that was a cartoon or a movie thing.
Maybe I'm just a weird white person, Jared.
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't think you are a weird white person, but I don't think I don't think that's a unique thing.
Right.
I don't think I've just never actually seen it happen outside of a
movie.
Yeah, or like a cartoon or something. I'll tell you why they do it though. Obviously, it goes back to summer. The tradition of turkey bone tug of war goes back a long way. Legend has it that first century Romans used to fight over dried wishbones, which they believed were good luck. See, this is why I don't believe this. How do they know? How do they know why Romans were fighting over wishbones? and would accidentally
Maybe
break
they
them.
found lots and lots of skeletons and like one dude holding a wishbone.
Just two skeleton hands with a wishbone in between.
Right, exactly.
And would accidentally would accidentally break them, ushering the idea that whoever has the largest bit of bone gets their wish. Bird bones have also been used in divination throughout history, with a supposed soothsayer throwing the bones and reading their patterns to predict the future. That's creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So yeah. How about the rabbit foot? My sister used to have a rabbit foot.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why is that a thing?
Rubbing the rabbit foot.
Right, that's supposed to bring you luck, right?
And I feel like it was the 90s, early 2000s. The rabbit foot was huge. Like every time you'd go into like a Hot Topic or like some store like that, so they'd have like those little spinny hang things, and I feel like there always would be a rabbit's foot there, and they're lucky. Talisman. What the is a talisman?
It's like a. Is it like a trinket?
It is. A talisman is. It's like a medallion.
Yeah, it's like
an object, typically an inscribed ring or stone that is thought to have magic powers to bring good luck. Because that makes sense. Because I feel like I've heard about it in one of the Assassin's Creed video games or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Well, it's interesting with the rabbit feet, Jared, because I wonder if people back then also used to like decorate them and like because you mentioned that talismans are like inscribed, right? So I wonder if like. I don't know though. I don't know.
I know
any
rabbits' feet were definitely dyed. Like you can get them all sorts of colors.
Right.
And I imagine that's such a gross thing to just have on a keychain, I think.
It's weird.
Talismans and amulets are all, oh man. If anyone asks me, hey Jared, what's your hobby? Oh, I'm really into talismans and amulets.
Get out of there. Get out
now. I like collecting talismans and amulets. They're a time-honored way of fending off evil. Consider the crosses and garlic. Okay, excuse me. Rabbit's feet as talismans may hark back to early Celtic tribes in Britain. That actually makes sense. They may also arise from hoodoo. A form of this is my hype man, Chad. A form of African American
folk magic
and superstition that blends Native American, European, and
African tradition.
Yeah, we're just trying to do it like a Run DMC. Where
that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's an interesting one. I wonder. Yeah. So apparently,
that next one, by the way, on the list, because I imagine we're looking at the same list with the way you're reading along. That next one on the list is specifically bad luck comes in threes. That I only hear about the main time I hear about that is when it comes to the celebrities. Celebrities die in threes.
See, and that's the funny thing is I've actually said and have heard the phrase "death comes in threes,"
just in general.
Also, bad luck, right? But yeah, it's interesting though as well though because we also have the phrase in English "the third time's the charm." So the third time you try something is the third time it will work.
Not die the third time you die.
Right.
There's also speaking of celebrities, another fun celebrity superstition is this 27. Club, something about there is a superstition about these amazing young troubled artists going at 27 and like sort of being like lucky if you make it past that time, if you make it past 27 and you're still going.
Right. Jared,
I like that one.
Can we play a little game?
Sure. I love games.
I want to give you a superstition and I want you to tell me what countries where you think this might be a thing.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, first one. Don't place two mirrors opposite of one another. So, across the room from each other.
I'm going to guess this is from, France or something.
Maybe it could exist there, but according to the article I have here, it's Mexico.
You can't answer like that. You just have to say I'm wrong.
You can't be like, it's Mexico.
Thank you.
You're wrong. Okay. It's Mexico. And apparently, Jared, having two mirrors facing and creating infinite reflections, although it may look cool, Jared. Facing mirrors in Mexico are considered to open a doorway for the devil.
Dude, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That really does make perfect sense to me. There is something a little kind of creepy about that infinity of the double mirror, which also kind of, when you put it that way, kind of, we never mentioned this, but a popular superstition also is the breaking of mirrors,
Right.
which makes sense. That
We're saying
you're
repeating something numerous times in front of a mirror.
Yes, because all that has some sort of I imagine connection to your relationship with the spirit. So it's like if you break a mirror, it's like maybe you're angering some sort of spirits or something, or it's like you're breaking some sort of necessary connection. But yeah, there is the popular, like if you say a bunch of, I can't think of what it is, Candyman or something. What is it? If you say some phrase 3 times into a mirror, something will pop out.
Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls. I think that's from South Park.
Yay. Okay. That's not even Biggie Smalls. That's Ice Cube.
But yeah. All right, let me give you another one, Jared. This is a tradition called Pog Pog, and it is basically where you don't go right home after a funeral.
Pog Pog? That sounds maybe Philippines or something.
Very good. Yeah, that's a Filipino tradition where people never go straight home after a funeral. Otherwise, a bad spirit might tag along and come inside.
I actually feel like I've heard this one before.
Makes sense.
It is. That's the thing. It is crazy where it's like these are all ridiculous, and essentially, where it's like these are all kind of just made up things that will cause bad luck. Yet, yeah, I agree with you. They all make sense to me.
Yeah. It's an innate human thing, Jared.
Yeah.
All right, tell me, Jared.
He's like,
where
I don't
want
to bring that cemetery air back to my house. I got to let that shit breathe out somewhere else.
Exactly. We got 50 more to go, Jared, so we got to get started.
All right,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. All right, next one. What country do you think whistling indoors can invite evil? Which country, Jared?
The U.S., England, Britain.
No. Actually, in Lithuania, it is forbidden to whistle indoors because the noise is believed to summon demons.
That makes perfect sense as well. Like, how many scary movies have you seen where there's some creepy whistle happening?
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Well,
someone's like whistling, like some like Ring Around the Rosie or something, really slowly and creepily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah. That is actually what it is. That's for someone sings that, and what is that? The Shining or something?
I think so. Yeah. So, Jared, what countries? You should know this one. What countries do you don't cheers with water?
Germany.
Yep.
Yes.
And I think
probably
also Czech Republic.
Too.
Yeah.
Do you know there's also a Czech one where you don't mix beers?
Yep. I did know that one. That's considered bad luck.
I heard that.
Okay, Jared, what country do you want to avoid sleeping with your head facing the north?
Sleeping with your head facing the north. I'm gonna go with somewhere in the Middle East.
In Asia.
I mean, the Middle East is technically in Asia, but
further east.
Okay. Japan.
Very good.
Well, there's also just that people naturally prefer to sleep with their so they're facing the door.
Yeah.
People don't like to sleep with their head, like their back, or the back of their head to the door.
Right. Makes sense. Well, Jared, speaking of sleeping, what countries, or I guess what continent do you want to avoid sleeping with your head to the west?
I'm gonna what continent? Africa.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Do you know why?
No idea why.
Okay.
No idea why, but it just says in some countries in Africa, they have the same superstition where you want to avoid sleeping with your head to the west. I wonder if that's in some of the Muslim countries in Africa where you would want your. Well,
see, that's what my thought was as well. And when you said continent, I was thrown off a little bit because I was going to say the Middle East and thinking it. I mean, obviously there are Muslim people in more places than just the Middle East, but I was thinking about. The idea of don't they pray towards the east?
I think so, yeah.
And then so I just imagine maybe there was some sort of inverse relationship there with facing the west when you sleep.
Exactly. Well, now, Jared, this one comes down to handedness. And so what happens, Jared, if you have an itchy right hand?
Oh, wait. Or it could be The sun sets in the west and rises in the east, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe it has something to do with where the sun sets and rises. Wait,
Could
is that
be.
it? You're just saying yes, but you're not.
No,
I feel
that
like you're
could
not
be
actually,
it. That could be it.
the sun sets in the west and rises in the east. So maybe if the sun sets in the west, I believe, you would want to wake up to the sun rising, and not which would require you facing the east. Mm-hmm. So that would be my guess, actually. Something about an itchy right hand.
Itchy right hand.
Something about you're gonna go broke. Doesn't that have to do something with you're gonna go broke or something?
So sadly, Jared, for you and I as lefties, it's actually the left hand that means you'll go broke. The right hand means you'll actually
If your left hand is
come into
itchy?
some money. Yeah, if you have itchy
Okay.
hands.
That makes sense because the left hand is the unlucky one.
Of course. Which country, Jared?
That sounds like the U.S. That sounds like some southern.
No, sir.
Something
Turkey.
my family.
In Turkey. Although
Okay.
maybe, who knows? Maybe in the U.S. Let's see here. This is kind of a funny one. Okay, never mind. I was hoping that one would say the country. All right, well, I'll give you this one. Okay, stepping in dog poop is not actually bad. In this country, it could be considered good luck if you do it with your left foot.
By the way, the itchy hand thing is a southern superstition as well.
Is it? Okay, nice.
Stepping in dog poo if you do with your left foot is lucky somewhere.
Yep. What country, Jared?
India.
In France.
Okay. I
France.
disagree with that wholeheartedly. I never feel I there's nothing lucky about stepping in dog poo. Now obviously that's how they feel, but that's not going to make me feel lucky.
Who
I'll
are
say
you
that.
to judge their superstitions, Jared?
I'm not judging their superstition. I'm saying that does not make me feel lucky in any sort of way. And if that happened to me, I feel like that I would have that stink literally and figuratively on me all day.
Well, Jared, maybe that's why they tell you it's lucky to make you feel a little bit better, you know?
There's something. Well, you said the left foot, right?
Yep.
There's something about the left. I imagine it has something to do with the left side being disliked or hated, and it's something to do with spiting your left foot. I'd have to imagine.
Could be. Well, let's move on to animals, Jared. And what country do you think if an owl is in your house, it means that someone in your family will die?
An owl? I don't know. England?
Italy. Apparently in Italy,
Okay.
they have a superstition that if an owl shows up in your house, someone in your family will die.
Owls are creepy. The owl will probably kill you. That's probably where that comes from.
Owls
the
are
owl.
they're powerful creatures for sure.
Yeah. They're a bird of prey.
Right. So now which
Holy shit,
country?
dude.
What?
There's a book on my desk right here. And I just looked over, and there's a little owl in the corner on this book.
Watch out, Jared! You
Look
got
at
the
that.
owl in the house. I see that.
Oh my gosh, this is
Fancy.
it won't focus, which is lucky for you.
Right.
But this is creepy.
Yeah, keep that owl out of my house, Jared. Keep that owl
That
out of my
is
house.
creepy.
Here's another interesting one.
Oh, no.
Knitting outside can prolong winter. What country, Jared, do you think knitting outside can prolong winter?
Probably some cold country. I don't know, Denmark or something.
No.
Finland, Sweden,
Nope. Name a couple other cold ones.
Norway,
You might get it.
Russia,
Nope.
Mongolia,
Iceland.
Canada. Oh,
Iceland.
Yeah. I was so close.
Iceland. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense. It's like why? Yeah, that I mean that would make sense. But yeah, I get it.
All right. Let me give you one last one here. What country do you think it's bad luck to get a haircut on Tuesdays?
That sounds.
It's very
made up.
random.
That also sounds like super. That also sounds super southern. You know, it's interesting that Tuesday is the unlucky day because, at least in the U.S., it's Monday is the day or Sunday and Monday are like the weekend for barbers usually. So Monday usually a barber is closed in the U.S.
Right.
Tuesday is when they go back to work.
They got to change it to Tuesdays, Jared.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. So because I'm saying this, I'm going to guess it's not the U.S.
No, it's not.
Bad luck to get a haircut on Tuesday. That sounds like it would have to be somewhere in Africa.
No, sir. It's actually in India.
India. Okay. And you
Okay,
don't
this
know why,
is
once
just
again.
this is
You
just kind of a funny little bonus one for you, Jared. What country is it bad luck to sing at the dinner table?
I don't know. Is that the U.S.?
No, the Netherlands. Apparently, in the Netherlands, if you are singing your favorite tune, means you're singing to the devil for your food.
I wonder if they sing "Happy Birthday" then.
Maybe not. Maybe they
Do it somewhere
walk
else.
away from the table.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let's go outside and sing
Right.
"Happy Birthday." Everyone,
Exactly.
stand up.
Exactly. Oh man, that's funny. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay, sorry. I wanted to end this.
There's
but some
nothing
of these are
everyone
too
loves
good.
more than someone saying "one more" 48 times.
Exactly. Okay, this one is funny because we talked about pressing our thumbs, Jared. But what country? So as you mentioned, people in the U.S. tend to hold their breath when they pass cemeteries. But in this country, you must tuck your thumbs to protect your parents.
Korea,
You're close.
Japan.
Very good. And this is what's interesting, Jared. So the word for thumb in Japanese translates to parent finger. So hiding it protects them from death.
I feel like that's how not most, but I feel like that's how a lot of these, a lot of the Japanese and Chinese ones come from. Is like this word, or even Korean too, I'd imagine. Like this word has could mean this word if you say it like this, or like spelled the same way but it has a completely different meaning. I feel there's a very common word. I mean, that's where "for" comes in. That's where another one comes in that I now forget. But like it's just this like that makes sense,
Right.
and
Definitely.
that seems like a uniquely unique to that style of language with where like tone is key. And like there's different, and like the use of characters is key. So yeah.
We
I'm back,
lost
I'm
you
back.
there, Jared. There we go.
Yeah. See,
There
this is
we
what
go.
happens when you experiment, Chad. Things go
Hey,
terribly
nothing,
wrong.
nothing wrong with doing some experiments, Jared. Just make sure
Also,
if
it's
you're
weird that you
experimenting.
commented this time because this is like the 5th time this happened.
Oh, really? Weird.
Yeah.
It was just unlucky timing there, Jared. But yeah, so I want to give a couple. There's one other interesting unlucky number that we did not mention.
Okay. So when you said one more,
Well, no, so this is more just, this isn't,
Okay.
I'm not going to have you guess this, but so we talked about unlucky numbers. We talked about the fear of 666, which is the devil's number or the number of the beast. In China, as we mentioned, the number 4 is feared because it sounds very close to the Chinese word for death. And in the U.S., Friday the 13th is unlucky, but actually in Italy, Jared, Italians dread Friday the 17th.
okay.
So that's kind of interesting. I wonder why Italians are
you
not
don't have
a fan
the reason
of.
why.
Well, I'm looking right now, Jared. I'm looking right now. 17. Some Italians are superstitious about Friday the 17th because rearranging the Roman numeral 17 can create the word. Is that pronounced Vici? It's Vixi, which means your life is over, I guess. So that's why 17. Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy.
I mean, that seems like so you have to rearrange a number. That's like back in the day when kids would be like, "Hey, take out the R, move around the A and the T. What does that spell?" And you're like, "Ass," and you're like, "Yeah." And it's like,
Right.
okay,
or
like that-
boobies on the calculator.
It's like that's just such a like it's almost like you're trying to find a reason, like to find something unlucky.
Exactly. And the other number I have for you is 39, which in Afghanistan it translates into Mordagal, which literally means dead cow. Not
Which is the same reason as I was saying, all these other, countries that I mentioned before say numbers are unlucky because they have some sort of different meaning. 39, it's interesting. 39 is also divisible. Is what's the word? What's the proper word? Divisible by 13. 13 times 3 gives you 39. So there's also
true.
a relationship to 13 there. I don't know if it means
so
anything.
it's 3
Just
times
saying.
the bad luck, Jared. Watch
Exactly.
out. You're going to get the Illuminati knocking on your door after this episode, Jared. You just figured out some
He knows too
groundbreaking
much.
stuff. That's right. Exactly. Well, Jared, what are some of your favorite kind of superstitions we've talked about today? Are there any, and let me add one other question, are there any new superstitions that you might add in your life just to be safe?
I mean, I don't know what I don't know what a favorite superstition would be. I don't think anyone has a favorite one, but I will say this: the ones that are most common in my life that I still probably use and I don't know why are probably definitely the knock on wood.
Yep.
The fingers crossed sometimes. The walking
I hope you
under a
start
ladder
doing
is
the
unlucky.
Jared fingers crossed from now on.
I always do that. Black cats are unlucky. Black cats kind of creep me out a little bit. I'll say that.
I think they're kind of cute. I like them.
Yeah, well, you creep me out too, and you're unlucky too. You're one of my biggest superstitions.
That's right. Well, you
so-
know, Jared, you tend
But
to be
I don't
the
have
lucky
any
one.
favorites because
Fair enough.
And I say that one because I don't know what that is, but also I have to find them kind of like foolish. You know what? Like my favorite foolish one is the hotel's no 13th floor kind of thing, or as you said, they give it some other name. That is shocking to me that these companies that are making these are like if we want to get business, we should take out 13 from these elevators that we're selling because people aren't going to want them. That is crazy to me that it's that serious.
You gotta get that money, Jared. I'll tell you one of my favorite superstitions that we actually haven't mentioned today that's worth mentioning, though, is beginner's luck. That's another big superstition. And the funny thing is, I think this superstition is interesting because apparently there is actually a lot of confirmation bias, which is basically, for those of you who don't know, it's a psychological phenomenon in which people are more likely to remember events that fit their worldview. So, for example, if you believe you're going to win because you're a beginner, you are actually more likely to remember all the times you were right and forget all the other times you lost as a beginner. The other thing with beginner's luck there I find interesting, Jared, is when you are a beginner, if you really think about it, a lot of the times because you're a beginner, you already think you're probably going to lose, so you don't feel the pressure and the anxiety to win. So because there isn't that performative pressure upon yourself, you can kind of relax and just see what happens. And I think that also can result, especially if you're thinking of like card games or board games, you might try a riskier move. And sometimes that riskier move will have a higher reward.
Where it's like that shouldn't have paid off, but it did.
Yep.
And it's like no one would logically do that because of the risk it took, but you just threw something down because you didn't know any better, and it actually worked out. I could definitely imagine that.
Exactly.
Beginner's luck is the phrase of a sore loser, that's for sure, though.
Or the phrase of a humble winner, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I never looked at it that way.
Goes both ways, but yeah. Another kind of funny one that I get this one more in terms of practicality is walking under ladders or avoiding walking under ladders. But this does come actually stems from Christianity, Jared.
Wait, so are these your favorites, or are you just naming more? I'm confused.
This one is one of the favorites that I would say I do not do. Like I don't know.
It just seems like a safety reason for safety purposes.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, and I don't really do this based on any superstitious things, but basically the superstitious
of not wanting someone
to
fall on your head.
Right. But this stems from, Jared, a Christian belief in the Holy Trinity, since a ladder leaning against a wall forms a triangle, and if you quote-unquote break that triangle, it will be blasphemous. Another theory stems from it's bad luck walking underneath the ladders in the gallows.
Yeah, sure. Well. You've never seen like an Illuminati sign made using ladders and like candles and stuff? Yeah, it's like you use two ladders to make that sort of Illuminati star or whatever it is. And yeah,
watch out, Jared. We're not going to have any more episodes after this one because the Illuminati is going to come. But yeah, I'm trying to think of any other kind of ones that I think about that we use or I use on the regular. Occasionally I'll cross my fingers, or definitely, like you said, Jared, knock on wood is a big one, for sure. Well, Jared, if you're not always superstitious, but you're a little stitious, you might want to enjoy some good old funk music, and I think that leads us.
That doesn't even that made no sense. If you're just a little stitious, you probably love music.
Well, maybe because if you're superstitious, you maybe the music will bring you some bad luck. You never know.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Who knows?
I'm just confused. I'm very confused. Go ahead.
Anyways, I guess you and I both know. But this tune today is by the group The Funky Monkeys. And I believe the song is called Love Liberation. Is that right, Jared? I'm trying to find it here.
You picked it. I think so.
I did pick it, but like a noob.
It is called Love Liberation.
Thank you. Okay, I'm trying to pop it up so I can listen to it really quick. I had it on my other computer, and I don't want it to be there. So anyways, what are your thoughts, though, on this one, Jared?
I like the vibe of it, but the like the instrumentation is good. It's got like a jam band vibe. The lyrics, I could have written those lyrics. The lyrics do nothing for me, and honestly, kind of take away from the song a little bit, just because they are so basic to me. But I like the jam. It's a good jam. If you like to jam and you like the sound of jamming, and all, you know, it's not, you got a jam. It's got a very jam band vibe. I just find the lyrics to be very simple, you know, and it's kind of like I feel I don't know, when I was listening to it, I was like, I could write this, which is not good.
So basically, what you're telling me, Jared, it sounds like is, you know, if you would have came for the lyrics, you would come for the lyrics, but you'd probably stay for the music, is what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, sure, yes,
yeah,
yes.
I feel you. Makes sense. I picked this one today, Jared, for a couple reasons. Number one, I like the fact that it's a live song, which I think is kind of fun. You know, that's one aspect I really like about it.
The fact that the live version is the that's the main version. Is that the way to put it? Like it's not the live version. This is the album.
This is the version. Yeah. This is. I mean, at least this is the version that's on their YouTube channel, and this is a smaller group. You know, they don't have, you know, thousands upon thousands of followers, which is also like another reason why I think it's a cool song to have on the pod as a song of the pod. And it seems like it's, you know, it just has a cool vibe to it. You know, they got some singers, a couple, you know, trombone player, a sax player, fantastic drummer. Yeah, and it kind of.
Do you know where they're from?
I'm not sure, actually. Do you know?
Yeah, they're from Singapore.
Oh, cool. Okay, very nice. I kind of like the little banter in the beginning with the singer and one of the people in the crowd dancing.
What's that dance you're doing? I like that dance. I'm going to do that too. Which then she didn't do, by the way. I checked. She did not do it.
Holding her accountable, Jared. I like it. But it's definitely an interesting. I don't
think she's in the band.
Who?
I think she's the singer.
Okay.
Oh, she's not in the band. Her name is Zarina, and she was featured with the band because I'm seeing all these pictures of the band and it's just all these dudes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But then I see one of their performances early in January of 2019 is featuring Zarina, which I imagine is the woman in this song, right? From the look of her. Yeah.
Very, very, very good research, Jared. Good work.
So it actually makes more sense. And now, actually, what do I think of the band, the Funkim Monkeys? I think the band is great.
So, I see. Okay. Yeah, I wonder who wrote the lyrics.
The lyrics. Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. But yeah, they are definitely awesome. Check them out. The Funky Monkeys. Check them out on YouTube. You can find them on our... What?
I saw it as Funkim Monkeys, but there's only one M. Really threw me off. Now I see it. Funky.
Okay. Yeah, get it?
I do now.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, check it out, though, on our Song of the Pod playlist. It is up there. Funky Monkeys, Love Liberation. It's definitely, it'll put you in a good mood and maybe bring you back to some of those times when we would go out to concerts and have a good time and enjoy it.
Yeah, live vicariously.
So, yeah, exactly. All right, well, I think we've covered some pretty solid superstitions today, Jared. I think they can be really wrapped up into a few different categories here. One would be religious. Two, they're somehow related to death in one way or another, or evil spirits. I would say really a lot of the superstitions tend to boil down to those two things. Then you add, especially with the old one, step on a crack, break your mother's back, stems from racism.
You also missed a major one is language. True.
Good point.
just a random number also means death or something if you say it slightly differently. So I think that's also a huge part of it is like, let's not say this because of that. Yeah, it's a number, but let's not use this number that also kind of sounds like death, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think
right.
That's another one in along with religion.
Definitely. That is a big one for sure. Let us know, though, some of your favorite superstitions at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can check us out on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number one. And we also drop our episodes there and have some solid tweets, so check that out. And lastly, please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher, or I guess if you want some bad luck in China, 4-star reviews, or some 13-star reviews, or 666-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. We would really appreciate it, and let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shisha, and do svidania. Don't be breaking any mirrors, Jared, or walking under any ladders, or having black cats be getting in your path. You know, gotta stay safe out there, Jared. We can't be taking any risks right now. 2020 is almost over.
Mirrors, by the way.
What?
That's such a weird one to me. The breaking mirrors. It's like, I've never broken a mirror in my life.
Mirrors are just a weird one, though. I think mirrors, we have this weird... I think we view mirrors, like, if you look at a lot of different, like, sci-fi movies or even, like, supernatural movies, mirrors always have some of this weird... Yeah, it's like a portal... You know, into the spirit world, into other worlds. Yeah, mirrors are weird.
How do they do it? How does the glass show me? What is that me?
I was just going to say.
Parallel universe me?
Right? Are we just living in a simulation, Jared?
I would say every 6th to 18th time I look in a mirror, I expect to have one of those situations where you like move, and then I put my hand back down, but it doesn't reciprocate in the mirror.
What would you do? Would you get out? Would you throw something at the mirror? What would you do?
I would probably smash the mirror, yeah.
But then you have 7 years of bad luck.
Yeah,
or in some places, isn't it 7 years of bad loving? Or is that that's when you don't clink glasses or you don't make eye contact when you clink glasses. Forgot to mention that one. That's a really important one, Jared.
That's
7
true.
years of bad loving is
before.
That's a long time. I don't care what you say.
7 years of bad loving. I've never heard it put that way, but it's hilarious. I love
That's
that.
how you keep it appropriate, Jared. We got to keep it PG-13 sometimes.
Yeah, do we?
But, maybe not. But yeah.